Do you believe Rose McGowan? Do you believe that she actually turned into a normie? In the interview with Dave Rubin, she says this. Now that you saw that, do you believe her? I don't know. She's been tied into the system. She's part of the Me Too. Maybe perhaps that she actually has a legitimate claim, which if she does, I would, dare I say it, I'd believe her, I guess, without any further evidence. I'm just taking her on her word. She says that she was, if that's the case, she was assaulted or whatever, then yeah, I guess I'll take it. But, what has she done to further that, to follow up with police reports? I don't know, because I don't know much about her other than the TV shows she was on and then her, her shrill reactions to anything right of center. But what we see here is something that people shouldn't be. You should focus on her words and her actions. Now, she said she's voting for Larry Elder. Okay, and she's voting yes to recall Gavin Newsom because of this.
And vote Larry Elder, because why? Why the fuck not? What have you got to lose? How's it going, people? How's your systemite society working for you? Try something different. Might as well. There's my pitch.
She reports and states that Gavin Newsom's wife attempted to bribe and silence her from speaking out about the fallen film mogul Harvey Weinstein's sexual abuse at a joint press conference Sunday afternoon with California gubernatorial candidate Larry Elder. Ahead of the press briefing scheduled for 1 p.m. at the Lux Hotel Sunset Boulevard, Elder praised McGowan, calling the alleged Weinstein assault victim a brave and courageous person who understands how oppressive the system has become. I look forward to standing with her today at 1 p.m. as we join forces on behalf of all Californians to hold our failed leaders accountable. Okay, so she claims that she was assaulted by Harvey Weinstein. Well, I wouldn't doubt that. Looking back on what happened to Larry or Harvey Weinstein, because he's in jail right now for, in fact, doing stuff that's really bad. The thing is that I don't necessarily believe that. Maybe this is just a passing fancy for Rose McGowan. I don't necessarily think she's going to be voting Republican down the ticket in California come next year. I just don't see it. Maybe she is. Maybe she will sort of like look on our side of the political spectrum and go, I know I've said in the past that, yes, perhaps, what do you got to lose? Things aren't getting any better. Perhaps maybe she'll, do some more research. Because for a person at this stage of going from a left to a normie, where she's basically open to other ideas and ideals and thought processes coming towards her, maybe perhaps she'll kind of look back and go, yes, I still believe in abortion, but I don't necessarily think that it should be full 100% across the board. Maybe perhaps in time. You don't want wide swings or really heavy swings from the political pendulum. So if you're so far left and you swing so far right, that's not good. You need to slowly adapt to things. Like, for instance, if you're out there and you're frostbitten, you don't want to jump into a hot pool. That'll make things worse. You want to slowly warm yourself up. Get a bunch of blankets, body heat, etc. My point being is that you can't just start taking in a bunch of information that you were just diametrically opposed to. Then all of a sudden you're like, yes. Because in my opinion, that could taint your transformation to, let's say, more of a center sort of approach to politics. Continuing on here, to say the press briefing in Los Angeles just came 2 days before the tight recall election. We'll see a whopping 46 gubernatorial contenders to unseat Newsom, of which Elder is the current favorite among Republican hopefuls. McGowan discussed her allegations that Jennifer Siebel Newsom, allegedly, tried to bribe her in order to suppress the bombshell Harvey Weinstein sexual abuse scandal. Miss Newsom has tried to deny allegations, but there is written evidence of the communication happening the way McGowan said it did. Rut frickin' row. So I assume that since the Mrs. Newsom at the time, allegedly, would think that, well, since they're politically on the same side, she would never dime her out or hold evidence against her. Whoops, she did. And luckily for that hopefully, I haven't seen that information or that evidence. I would like to see it. Maybe, perhaps, Miss McGowan will let that stuff out. McGowan kicked off the press conference by telling the audience that she no longer considers herself to be a Democrat. I finally came to a point where I'm not a Democrat because everyone who has harassed, stalked, and stolen from me in my time in Hollywood has been a Democrat. There you go. That does not mean, Miss McGowan, that Republicans wouldn't steal and do the same thing. It's just that you were so tied into the far, far, far left that they said, well, what are you going to do? Vote the other way in California? Pfft. So they had no problem stealing from you. And luckily you saw the light. Maybe perhaps 40 years in your life. I don't know how old you are, but perhaps you finally saw the light that the people that you sort of respected all these years had no, in fact, respect for you. An elder himself, McGowan, commented, "Do I agree with him every on issue? No. So what? He's a better candidate. He's a better man," McGowan said. Yeah. Yes. That is exactly what a Normie would say. Someone who's open to ideas and go, you know what? This guy Newsom, yeah, maybe I voted for him, which doesn't make any sense. Why, if the woman, the wife of the guy that is governor, tried to bribe you, why you would vote for him? Maybe she did, I don't know. But maybe she's coming around. And maybe perhaps this is good. Maybe I shouldn't be so skeptical. But I am a skeptic at heart. I have to be skeptical of someone who's on the far, far left, who sort of swung to the Normie middle and kind of go, hey, wait a minute. Yeah, maybe I don't agree with Elder on everything he says, but the guy seems like a decent dude. He's not a Newsom. He's not trying to destroy my state that I live in. Why not vote for this guy? It can't get any worse. That's the sort of revelations people need to come to. I don't agree with Rose McGowan. She probably doesn't agree with me, but I'm glad she's sort of coming to the realization that what she has been brought up to think and her political ideology is in fact perhaps way fucking wrong. And I'm glad. I am really glad that she actually is seeing this part. I would suggest that she needs to, in all due respect and in good faith, sort of step back and sort of read and sort of absorb a lot of stuff that she was just opposed to. Here she goes on, says, I used to listen to Larry Elder after I drive home from the set. Sometimes I'd even pull over and use a fake name, usually Tracy, to call in. And from him, I learned about the corruption of teachers' unions in the state. Oh, shoot. McGowan has been a vocal critic of Hollywood's elite kid-glove treatment of the convicted sex offender Weinstein. During the course of the event, she pivoted to talk about at the time she got on the phone with Jennifer Siebel Newsom, the governor's wife, who asked her, what can Boyce Schiller, Weinstein's lawyer, do to make you happy? Claiming that she hung up on Miss Newsom without answering upon hearing the question. She also says that in a separate communication, Ms. Newsom inferred that she was a Weinstein rape victim to get into a private group of Weinstein rape victims. Elder then stepped up to the mic himself to speak. Elder first started out by talking about school choice, mentioning the President Barack Obama's children, Malia and Sasha, never set foot in public school, and how Obama never set foot in a public school. On constituents who questioned the results of the 2020 election, Elder commented, just want to like someone to ask my opponent, Gavin Newsom, does he respect the results of the 2016 election? On the recent hate-filled attack on his bodyguards and him in Venice, Elder opined, if I were a D after my name, for Democrat, they'd be talking about it in Bangladesh. They'd be investigated as a hate crime. Elder then commented on the issue that Ms. Newsom and her communications with McGowan pointed out the fact, if someone had said my significant other contacted Rose McGowan and said, what we can do to make this go away, it's all you'd be talking about until the end of this campaign. McGowan, when asked if the emails were going to be made public, she said that she sent them to the Politico on Sunday. Elder then asked why this should be a deciding factor for voter, and McGowan took the question, asking the person asking the question if anybody thinks his wife told him what she was doing or not. Okay. Again, let's take her for a word. All right. I'm going to be 50.1% skeptical or at least let's say 50.1 less skeptical here in this point. I'm going to take her word for it where she saw some light. Not the whole light, but some light. In fact, that she actually did listen to Larry Elder and did in fact call in and call in as Tracy, as she stated in this article. Maybe she did see the light. Perhaps this will bring more people on the left side of the political spectrum into the normies, so where they're more susceptible to, let's say, political ideologies, not upon what they've always been force-fed in states like California, Illinois, and New York State. I hope, going forward, in conclusion here, that Rose McGowan sort of steps back away from all the fervor of what she basically has said and sided with Larry Elder here. Steps back and sort of just reflects and really dwell down into if this is what she really wants to do. Because I would hate for everyone to get on her bandwagon and saddle up to her, and then something happens in the press or something happens in politics where she just goes full lefty again, and then everyone goes, I can't believe I did it. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stay skeptical, but not as skeptical as I, in the hardest of hearts should be. But let's just hope that her transformation brings other people to the, I guess, more sane side of the political spectrum.